What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven here with your afternoon snap, and today I'm going to be showcasing the finals from the most recent community gaming tournament, and we have a Thanos battle. This is Thanos negative up against Thanos Arishem. So time to find out which of these Thanos decks will come out on top. We've got Lucifer here. We're going to watch from their perspective. And they are running Thanos Mr. Negative, which initially does not seem like it has that much synergy, right? Mr. Negative is just going to flip all of your stones to still make them 1/1s. However, we also see Gore in Lucifer's hand, which is a card that is great with both Mr. Negative and with Thanos, and that is really what is making this archetype shine. There have been people that have been playing Mr. Negative Thanos in the past, but now I think with Gore there is a definite higher incentive to do so. We see Kyera here out of the Arishem Thanos deck. It looks like that might be an actual Kyera though, as this magic without a border I believe will indicate which cards are from Arishem. A double limbo game, so we're definitely going to 7 turns and a snap from Naruto there, but I do think that, well, if you are playing Mr. Negative, getting that additional turn seems good, and it looks like Lucifer is thinking about snapping right back. A pair of snaps coming through on turn 4. They're just going to let it play out though. It's cool to see just a little bit more insight into the player. Blinking your magic is pretty cool, and Super Giant comes out just a little bit too slow. If Super Giant had hit that Mr. Negative, that would have spelled doom for Lucifer. Now they can just drop a blue Marvel under the Super Giant. They were briefly considering the Mystique. That could have been a cool play too, and Iron Man could also be a fun one. This is actually a pretty heads-up play. To play your blue Marvel in Washington, D.C. means that then if your opponent Eliaths in your Super Giant card, that means that you're at least going to get a 5/6 out of it, though it looks like they are considering just Iron Man here into Limbo, which also seems fine. And yeah, Mystique also could have been a pretty cool play there. It's going to depend on how well Lucifer can draw in these next 2 turns, but the other synergy that Mr. Negative and Thanos have is that you can use the stones to draw you additional cards. So far, Mr. Negative has drawn a 1/1 stone and a 2/2 Psylocke. Not incredibly exciting things, and looks like Lucifer is just actually going to go for the Gore, so that way they can play Mystique next turn. I think that the Super Giant turning off a turn made the curve out just a little bit awkward there. Not that you really want to run out a time stone rather than like if your other choice is blue Marvel, but in another game, maybe where you have a Mr. Negative, you can use the stones afterwards to then allow you to draw more negative flipped cards. We're going to see a cannonball come out from Naruto. Apologies if that's not how you say Naruto. By the way, this is a Marvel channel. I don't know what Naruto is, but we are going to see the cannonball try to get that Mr. Negative into the first limbo to lock them out. Not quite going to work out, and we're going to see a Mystique come down into the second limbo. I might rather see the Mystique come down into the first limbo just to play around that Eliath, which is already a good target against your face down card. You do actually have priority here though. I missed that. So Lucifer has priority with that Gore play from last turn. I wasn't expecting the 6 power in limbo to be winning that location, but with the face down card from Super Giant there, that is a 6 power card, so, or a 6 cost card. That could be a blob, it could be a Gore themselves from Naruto's side of the field. Let's see if this double Gore is going to be good enough though. It's going to get pumped up by the Psylocke and by the Time Stone, so might be pretty reasonable here. Shadow King not going to do anything to Gore. Thanos is just barely going to challenge it, But let's not forget we also have a blue Marvel hidden face down there, and that will be enough to take it in limbo. It was a blob for Naruto, which will win them Limbo Prime, but the Gores are going to take it over for those other two locations to give Lucifer a 4-cube lead to start off this match. And I think a pretty good showing for Gore with Mr. Negative. Gore the God Butcher just getting so much value so easily out of these stones. And then once you're playing like Gore and Mystique to capitalize on the Gore as well, that just gives you another great Mr. Negative target and winds up being a pretty fantastic line to follow. We see Mind Stone turn 1 for Lucifer. That could be a snappable position alongside this Mr. Negative. You are going to now have the opportunity to play a turn 4 Mr. Negative. Turn 5, just dump a bunch of stones, so that way you can grab a bunch of flipped cards for the final turn alongside Gore. But we're not going to see the snap come out too quickly up against an Arishem Thanos deck. Arishem Thanos decks are pretty scary to snap against. We saw that Lucifer did not snap in that first game. They were strongly considering it, not really wanting to bring it to 8 cubes in the first game in the finals, which of course makes a lot of sense. It does look like they are thinking about just running their stones out here now. I like playing the Time Stone. I might like holding on to the Power Stone though, again, just for those post-negative draws. But they're going to run out the stones. They won't actually get a draw off the Time Stone since, or off the one of them, because they're going to wind up filling their hand here, so they won't get a draw for turn, is maybe a more apt way to put it. So it winds up losing a little bit of value. I will note, Mr. Negative into Tarnax is also pretty good value, and I guess both players are happy to have dumped some stones. Cassandra into the sandbar when your opponent is playing Arishem is like a double whammy in one turn. We might see Naruto just retreat here. No, they're going to stay in it for 2, playing a Kate Bishop into the sandbar as well, giving them 2-cost arrows to face off against this 24 power Cassandra. But now Lucifer gets to drop a Mr. Negative that will transform into something else, into Tarnax, and then next turn, it's probably just a blue Marvel or a Thanos, and then the following turn, actually, it might just be Iron Man into Stark Tower. That's a pretty fantastic play as well. We might be seeing Acid Arrow into Stark Tower here. I don't know. How are they dumping so many cards with the sandbar? That one's a little bit tough. Oh, Mockingbird plus Acid Arrow, and then probably, yeah, one more arrow that's going to transform into Electra, which takes out Nico. That's kind of cute. And we do see still a priority lead here. They are going to battle with the blue Marvel, and then that'll give them a little bit more power in both Tarnax and Sandbar, and then I imagine we're just going to see Gore get dropped into Stark Tower on the final turn. And if your plan is Gore, suppose you don't really need the Iron Man, this is going to be a big moment. What does Thanos become? Thanos becomes a Gore! Wow, that is huge. So now that's a win in Tarnax, and Lucifer's in trouble if Naruto has any tech here. Oh wait, no they are not. Wow, fantastic play by Lucifer, but it still only wins the one location. I mean, Rogue is cool. Rogue against Gore is cool, but you still lose this game to any of Shang-Chi, Shadow King, because you're not overcoming your deficit in Stark Tower, and you lose Sandbar to any piece of tech. So I think Naruto might be able to take this one. Looks like it. Shang-Chi, there it is, and that will be enough. And apologies also if you can hear Lily snoring, but also not apologies. I like the sound of her snoring. I'm not even sure if the mic really picks it up, but that's what you're hearing if you can hear it underneath the lo-fi sounds. But that is going to put 4 cubes back in Naruto's favor, and now we are tied up 6 cubes apiece for both of these players here. Hopefully this setup, by the way, is okay. I just threw this together right before I pressed record because this was footage from a game that Lucifer recorded for me on mobile and then sent my way. So yeah, kind of just working with what I have here. I zoomed in so that way I'm making use of the full real estate on the screen. Hopefully it looks good for y'all. As we are on to game number 3, we'll see if this one also is a 4-cube game. Mind Stone for Naruto. Gotta feel like they are favored, though. We do see Ravona for Lucifer. This is also the first time that they do not have Mr. Negative. They could be battling for White Hot Room. It's a little bit tricky. And Cassandra is also going to be a lot of points. So if you want to battle for White Hot Room, you are then saying, okay, I'm losing this location, and I've got to try to win the other 2. And we're not going to see them go for it here. They can instead just play Psylocke, and then next turn they could actually gore into White Hot Room. That is not crazy. I think we might see a turn 4 White Hot Room. That makes sense. Yeah, play the Soul Stone in that location. Wow, and Naruto just takes it with Jeff even. So this is Naruto's game to lose with the Mind Stone. Forgot about that. And just 1 cheap card with the 4 energy that they have from Arishem this turn. With a Jeff into White Hot Room, I think we could have seen a snap from Naruto. They have a pretty sizable lead now, but we do see the Shang-Chi. So there is a Shang-Chi to answer that Cassandra. Will the Arishem player be able to overcome this, though, with 8 energy this turn, 4 extra energy over their opponent on every single turn from here till the end of the game? I do think that is a pretty huge lead here. Time Theater gave Lucifer an extra copy of Iron Man, which is only a 4-cost Iron Man thanks to Ravona. That's pretty good, but I'm curious what Naruto got from that. Possibly just a random Arishem card that we're not really going to see make too big of an impact, but what is Lucifer going to be able to come up with? This turn, just a blue Marvel. Meanwhile, your opponent has access to 9 energy. Feels kind of bad, but next turn, the 10 energy is what feels absolutely crazy. Okay, this turn they're playing Arishem plus a Mockingbird. But, like, yeah, can we even battle for multiple locations here? We can Shang-Chi in White Hot Room, and then we can play a Power Stone in, like, the Time Theater and hope that Gore grows a little bit. We could play Sage and then Shang-Chi, yeah, and then we're growing Gore by enough that it wins the negative zone. This isn't actually crazy, but a snap from Naruto. Are we looking for a snap back? Is this going to be the final game of the series? I don't know what happens in this series, to be totally honest with you. So this could be the final game, and I don't know who's going to win this, but Lucifer is making a play for all 3 locations, but Naruto has 10 energy. That is a crazy amount of energy. I do not want to be snapping against an Arishem with White Hot Room. It looks like we might even be thinking about taking the Sage back. They'll have to take back the Shang-Chi first if that is their goal. But what could... I mean, it's not even worth thinking about what Naruto has. I think I'm just retreating here, especially to his snap. I think I'm just going to respect the snap. Wait, is the Sage also battling for Time Theater? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Oh, it is. Oh, wow. They're battling for all 3 locations right now. That is pretty huge. If Jeff moves into Hercules, it will get knocked into negative zone for 0 points. And a snapback forces a retreat out of Naruto. We are not done with this match just yet. Naruto is going to escape for 2 cubes. And honestly, it might have been the right call. Lucifer was managing to battle for all 3 locations there, but like just barely. They were going to have a reasonable lead in White Hot Room. They were going to have a lead of just 2, though, in both... Oh, wait. They were actually going to tie Negative Zone and have a lead of 2 in Time Theater. And they were only going to tie Negative Zone because destroying Cassandra actually shrinks your Gore, which I would have imagined the Gore to grow playing more on reveal cards from Naruto there before the end of the turn, but... definitely something you have to keep in mind if you're playing Shang-Chi and goring people, kind of a silly interaction. Icebox hit on Mystique, and we do see Mr. Negative here from Lucifer. I'd love to actually see Mr. Negative make a big impact in one of these games. We'll see if yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic setup for it. I was going to say, I'll see if Lucifer hangs on to any stones this game, and with a turn 2 Ravona, I mean, I think you possibly could have been snapping, but now with Elysium, that does make things interesting in a different direction here. They can run out the Cassandra, and then they can even play a Space Stone post Mr. Negative, and we're going to get to see potentially Mr. Negative draw. Yeah, this is a snappable position for sure, looking to make this a 2-cube game at the very least if Naruto accepts the snap. And yeah, this is a fantastic curve out for Negative Thanos to have turn 1 Stone, turn 2 Ravona or Psylocke, turn 3 Mr. Negative plus Cassandra plus Stone. Okay, that gets a little bit crazier even, but the flipped Iron Man is the first draw, and we are gonna see some cards get thrown down. This is a triple Elysium game, so everything costs 3 less. Okay, this turn, maybe we just play Thanos and end it. No real reason to show all of your cards yet, literally show all of your cards yet, and just hanging on to them. Like, there's no real reason to play the Psylocke even potentially at all. We'll see what Lucifer winds up drawing next turn. No, it looks like they might be considering playing this Psylocke this turn. I mean, you're never going to need all of the energy. I'm trying to think of what else is even in Lucifer's deck. I think the most expensive card that is in their deck might be a Power Stone that costs 3. Dr. Octopus grabbing the Mystique is actually a big bummer and punishes you for not running out that Iron Man sooner, but that's a tricky one to play around, and honestly, you're probably still doing fine with 27 power over with that Cassandra Nova. We see a snap from Naruto, so that kind of signals to me Shadow King or something might be coming, and Lucifer's thinking about dropping Gore this turn. You don't really have to play around something like Galactus here, holding, I guess they don't want to put themselves in a position where where they're tossing priority against an Alioth. So they're going to battle for priority here, so that way they don't have to play around absolutely everything, because something like an Alioth plus a Shang-Chi or a Shadow King could be an awkward combination for you, and now you don't have to worry about that. So now we're just going to see Iron Man into Elysium for 38 power, and then we will even pump up the Gore a little bit more with Mind Stone plus Psylocke, and surely they can't have it all. They would need Rogue for Gore, but Rogue has to hit a 1 in 3, dodging the Space Stone and the Ravona. Cassandra can get Shadow Kinged, and they are going to ignore Gore, but how is Iron Man looking? They're also going to need a Rogue for that location, but if they had a Rogue, surely they would have played that center. This looks like it might be it. This looks like it might be the win for Lucifer. Shadow King is there for the Cassandra, sure. Oh, and Shang-Chi is unable to destroy Thanos here, actually, because of the Soul Stone. So that is going to be it, and Lucifer with negative Thanos is going to take it over Naruto's Thanos Arishem. And for today, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.